your approach is very, very strongly linked to a cognitive, rational approach.
Well,
what are you doing and what choices are you making?
Yeah, I think, and I would agree with you, Bob, on that. And I think that goes back to family. That the way the original questions you asked me, the idea that you promote good thinking, that you reduce emotional turmoil.
Why? In other words, if in fact this is about, if it's a high conflict case, how might you do things differently from that perspective?
Well, if you look at, I'm going to give you the best example. What's the number one worry about a police officer who goes into a domestic dispute? What are they worried about? They're worried about anything that might happen that's irrational because emotions are high. What's the first thing you do when there's hostage taking? Reduce emotion. Get things down, get it smooth, get people relaxed. What's the first thing that parents do with children in an emergency? If the children are crying and upset, they try to soothe them. Why? Because emotions are getting in the way of them being able to do something for themselves. And so in this particular approach, why would a mediator, at least from my perspective, certainly not from others, attempt to use the same kind of problem solving that they brought into a mediation? I'm part of the problem then. And secondly, how can good work be done when two people are so upset about what is going on? Because emotions are getting in the way. Isn't that what happens when people fight and argue? They say things they ought not to have said. They do things they wish they had not done because they're upset.
So what is it that you will do with that person? I mean, who's enraged? She's left me. I mean, she's betrayed me. What is it you'll do with that person? What will you say to them?
Well, you can do a number of things. Remember, I'm just going to use this as a general example, not knowing quite the context that is in. The first thing you can do is, in many approaches, certainly not just one, is acknowledgement. Acknowledgement means, I don't know where you're at, but I can understand where you're at. The acknowledgement that things could get better for you, not from your spouse leaving, but your capacity and ability to see your children. So we tend to look at what things can we do in mediation and what things can we not do. And there is where you've asked, what is the difference between therapy and mediation? From my perspective as a psychologist, it's important that clients know what they're going to get when they come in. We're going to talk about resolving some problems, but how you deal with your spouse coming back or stuff like that might be more the purvey of a therapist.